We begin tonight with a live look on I-55 between Cape Girardeau and Jackson, where the speed limit is 70 miles an hour right now, but that could change next month. Good afternoon, everyone. The speed limit on some highways and interstates in Missouri may soon be a 75-mile-an-hour zone.
Brianna Harris joins us live in the studio to tell us more about that. Brianna.
Well, Jeff, Kathy, Governor Mike Kehoe signed Senate Bill 1408 into law on Monday, clearing the way for higher speed limits on some Missouri highways later this summer. Now, the new law allows the Missouri Highway Commission to raise speed limits on eligible rural interstates and freeways from 70 to 75 miles per hour. The increase would help drivers get to their destinations faster, but Sergeant Clark Parrott with the Missouri State Highway Patrol says drivers should be aware of the increased safety risks that come with traveling at higher speeds.
Our concern with raising the posted speed limit on the interstate system to 75 is the data suggests that a third of all traffic crashes are a result of speeding. The reaction time of a vehicle driving higher than the posted speed limit, it goes up incrementally, so we just encourage people to obey all traffic laws. Make sure we're leaving our phone down, and always wear your seatbelt every time you get in a car.
The bill was sponsored by local lawmakers, Senator Jamie Berger and Representative John Voss. The law will go into effect August 28th. Live in the studio, Brianna Harris, Heartland News.